I hope you guys can relate to this a little bit. Hi gang, today's topic is about adulting. It's a good one. Somebody asked me the other day something about like how I'm doing with a new baby, time management wise, how am I balancing everything? You know, and I was thinking to myself, I feel like I'm balancing everything fairly well, considering that before I had the baby, I was very worried about how I was going to like live my life and have a child at the same time. But I mean, yeah, like considering that I really was worried about that kind of a balance, I think I'm doing okay at it. And everybody has their days where they feel like they're off or there's so much to do and so little time. But what I do know is that I've made some simple changes so that I feel a lot more together than I actually did before I had the baby. So it's like having Phoenix made me realize, okay, I need to like really get some stuff together here. That forced me to make that change. So I wanted to share those with you guys. 7 things you can do to be better at adulting if you really suck at adulting. Okay, so the first thing is actually something that I stopped doing. Top of the list, what I stopped doing was falling asleep to the TV. I'm sure that some of you guys can relate to this. It's really easy to fall asleep to like Netflix. It's just so easy to do. The next thing just plays and it's just like so much more enjoyable to just continue to watch than to like get up and go to bed. Not allowing myself to fall asleep to the TV any longer is something that makes me feel so much better when I'm going to bed. I feel so much more refreshed when I'm waking up. And that obviously makes me so much more ready for whatever the day is going to throw at me. So stop doing that. Stop falling asleep to the TV. Like you got to make a decision, right? And then that way in the moment, you can follow through on that decision that you've previously made. So just make the decision now. The second thing is similar to that, is having some sort of a nighttime routine related to washing up. Because I was falling asleep to the TV, it was really easy to like fall asleep and not have washed my face and not have necessarily brushed my teeth, certainly not have flossed. I feel like I'm making myself sound really disgusting right now. But it's easy to do, right? And it's because of like isolating incidents. There's a book called Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. I highly recommend that. It talks about isolating incidents. How when you do something like a little bit at a time, it just doesn't really seem like it's a big deal. You're like falling asleep. You're like, oh, I need to brush my teeth. And you're like, there's this one night. It won't really be that big of a deal. But like, I was developing a habit of like falling asleep without really taking care of myself. Now, every night, I wash my face. I brush my teeth, I floss, like, and I'm aware of like isolating incidents. Like even when I'm like brushing my teeth, I'm like, I don't feel like flossing. And then I'm like, no, because that's going to turn into the next night I don't feel like flossing and the next. So every night. And then just having some sort of like a skincare routine, even if it's just like a night cream or something where it's like, okay, I'm done. Like I've taken everything off. I've put on what I need to put on at night. And like when you crawl into bed, you just feel like, I'm ready for bed, you know? And there's a big difference again, waking up when that was the way that you fell asleep. The third thing, and you knew this had to be on here, was just waking up a little bit earlier. So obviously having Phoenix makes me wake up a little bit earlier, a lot bit earlier. In doing so, like I kind of leave myself extra time in the morning just in case. I don't know what's going to happen with him. I don't know if he's going to need me for a bit longer, throw up or whatever. But so as a result, most of the time I just get that time to myself. I get to just not be extra rushed in the morning. I take a little bit of time and like I take 10 minutes and clean the house or just something that like kind of needs to be done. It can actually get my attention before I even go to work because I'm leaving that extra time in the morning. That has helped me so much. So then what I've been meaning to do with like the dishes in the sink and like the laundry and stuff like that, I'm actually taking care of 10 or 15 minutes of that before I even go to work. And it feels so good. Makes me feel so organized. The fourth thing, man, a lot of these have to do with like morning and nighttime routines. I think there's something to that. Should probably do a video about that. Fourth thing is pack your lunch. And this isn't really because of the routine so much. This is like, I feel so much more together when I just like have my lunch with me and I don't have to go order out. You used to really be able to eat lunch for like $5. And that is like really not the case anymore. Pretty much anywhere you go, I mean, lunch is like $10 now, or close to it. And so it's so much smarter, you know, it's just to pack your lunch. It's more time efficient too. You don't have to like go order it or go somewhere. I mean, delivery is even more expensive. So just having your lunch with you, it just makes things like so much easier for you to be able to eat when you want and save a lot of money. The fifth thing is really planning out your week ahead of time, like everything about your week. So now that I have Phoenix, I have to be extra planned because I know like when somebody's watching him, when somebody's not watching him, what I can do when I have him, what I can't do when I have him. So there's just a lot more that goes into it. Even things like when I'm gonna cook dinner, like what nights I'm going to cook dinner, when I'm going to cook dinner, how many nights I'm going to cook dinner for. So maybe I'll have leftovers for like 2 or 3 nights. Then that means I have to cook dinner again on like Thursday, and that's gonna give me dinner for Thursday and Friday. Like it has to be that planned out. And I didn't have to be that planned out before, you know, it was just me. So of course I could much more easily get away with, you know, well, I mean, I'll go to the grocery store at the beginning of the week and whatever I do, I'll do, and I'll just like, you know, eat that food at some point, right? It forces me to be so much more organized, and I'm realizing, man, like I'm really working a plan throughout the week. And of course things like mess up that plan or throw a wrench in the mix or whatever, but if you're planning your whole week out, right down to like when you're cooking dinner or when you're working out, or certainly what work like related things you have to do, personal time, when you're seeing friends, stuff like that, you end up like really working a plan, which makes you also feel a lot better. The sixth thing is I've pretty much always been crazy about to-do lists, but now even more so. So I have a notebook that I just carry with me all the time. It's a running to-do list, like literally every page is just the to-do list. And whatever doesn't get done, just get carried over to the next days. And now I like kind of have 2 or 3 like on one page. I've got like work to-dos, things that I need to do around the house, and things that I need to like take care of kind of separate from that. Like usually it's errands that I need to run or stuff like that. And so because I can see all 3 all the time, I'm never really forgetting anything. I'm a very forgetful person. Like I have a really bad short-term memory, and I think that most people around me wouldn't really know it because I don't really forget to do things. But my whole life I've really forgotten to do things. So I've just really developed a system for myself that's compensated for that. And that is like being a manic about to-do lists. The moment something pops in my head, oh yeah, I have to do that. I write it down on the to-do list, one of my 3, and every morning I'm rewriting them so I know exactly what I need to get done. The last thing is I Amazon Prime like everything. And so you may already be doing this. I think I only recently realized like how much this really could free time in my life. So like, I don't know, I mean, I've been an Amazon Prime member for a while, and so I've always like ordered stuff sometimes. Now I'm realizing that like, as long as I kind of notice that I need something with 2 days notice, then I don't need to go to the store. So like simple things, like for example, over the course of the last couple of weeks, I needed cat litter. That was always something that we would go to the store for. But now I just Amazon Prime it and it just comes to my door and I don't have to lift it, which is really nice. I need a new mascara. That I know 2 days in advance. I would frequently go to Target for new mascara or Sephora or something like that. And now I just Prime it. A planner. I got my last planner, last year's planner. I definitely got it at like an Office Max or Staples or something like that. And then this year, right, a year came around, needed a new planner. I just got it from Amazon Prime. Oh, I was like, got these like Glade plugins recently, right by the litter box. They're really helpful. That's definitely something that I would put on kind of like the errand list previously. And then I'm like, I don't need to do that. I could just get these things delivered to my door, right? And so again, this may be really obvious for you, but like, I think before I was using Amazon Prime for like some things, like things that I might like need that are kind of different. And now I'm realizing like I can do this for literally like all of my errands. And then I don't have to worry about that with a baby. Well, whether I have a baby or not, that frees up a lot of time. Then maybe I can spend that time meal prepping for my lunches, right? Or some of these other things that we talked about. Like I get home a little earlier because I don't have to stop somewhere. So as a result, I can, have more of a nighttime routine, right? Whatever it is. I just highly recommend that because that realization of how much I can use that has come to me recently, and it's been really helpful. So, I mean, there you have it, like 7 things that I have really done recently in order to feel pretty on top of what's going on. And with a baby. But if I had just kind of done some of these things before I had Phoenix, I would have felt a little more on top of it before him as well. So I really wanted to share that with you guys. I hope that you can use those tips. What I will say is that like everybody goes through though, like needing to work on time management. Some days I've got it together, some days I don't. Some weeks I've got better time management than other, just like you. And so that's important to realize too, because I think living your best life is like always going to be a little bit of a roller coaster, a little bit of some ups and downs. If you're feeling stressed with your time management, don't let this video make you feel more stressed. Other people have got their stuff together. Why can't I? It's definitely like we're all working on stuff all the time. And especially in today's day of social media, that is really important to keep in mind. Cool. Well, thanks guys so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Have an awesome time applying everything, and we'll see you next week.